Howdy, and welcome back to the Oddly Sidecast. I'm Joey.
I'm Vance.
And this is Jake.
How y'all doing, boys? How you feeling?
The never-ending void that is my own mental state is only being accentuated by the physical prison that my home has become.
I mean, I'm doing okay too, I would say.
Yeah. Jeebie weebies, George.
You asked me
Jesus
how I was
Christ.
doing, and I told you how I was doing. Exactly.
That was like a college level course on existential dread.
I don't miss.
He just finished his dissertation on Nietzsche.
He just don't miss.
I love Nietzsche. Homeboy had like a wild worldview.
He had a wild mustache.
And you know what? He pleasured a bunch of wild women with his wild
Wild
mustache.
women? Wow.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
Whenever I hear the word wild, I can't help but think of that 60-year-old man talking about how he wanted to eat out all the wild women down in the Bahamas. That's one of the most classic videos.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't think I've seen that.
Dude, he's all the wild women, the ripping and the tearing. It's like an ancient fucking YouTube video.
Is he the fucking Doomslayer? Why is he ripping and tearing?
No, that's what he fucking says. Okay, so it's like an interview, and they're in front of like a pool, and you could tell it's at like fucking Sandals Resort in Beach.
Sandals, Jamaica.
And he's like, yeah, I come out here all the time for the wild women, the ripping and the tearing.
Oh no.
You've never seen this video before? It was like infamous maybe like a decade ago.
I've heard the phrase, but I didn't know the origins.
Yeah.
I've heard rip and tear from Doom only.
Can you just imagine that video like
with the
put
Doomslayer
over with, like,
superimposed over it? Yeah.
It's too bad the Doomslayer's voice actor doesn't have a cameo like Master Chief,
Rip.
or you could pay him to say that shit and then like sync it up with the Mick Gordon soundtrack for Rip and Tear. It's all. God damn, that shit would be great.
Amazing.
Actually,
that'd be pretty awesome.
If the Doomslayer's voice actor, I don't know who you are, you're awesome. Put up a cameo. I'll pay you fucking $30 to say that shit right now.
$30.
30 whole US dollars.
Damn.
$30.
Hey, hold on. Okay, $30 is pretty good for a favor.
$30 is amazing for a favor in my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you could pay me if you give me $30, I'll do damn near anything.
Joey, what's your Venmo?
I'm not hard to please. I've done favors for less for people. Like, I'm
sure you have.
I once did a favor for like a McDonald's McDouble.
That's yeah. I'd do a favor for like a sausage and egg McMuffin and a hash brown. I think like that's like,
so
honestly just the McMuffin. One
time I helped move a friend, an acquaintance of mine. He really needed help. Full disclosure, I'm a really big guy. I'm like 6'5", 234, maybe on a good day.
On a good day,
big guy. So he was like, I really need someone to help me move shit. We just bought a new refrigerator. Okay, cool, awesome. I'll help move it. You know, a dolly can do great work. What he failed to tell me is that his new apartment that he was moving into was on the second story.
Oh.
So, long story short, I almost killed myself moving a refrigerator up a flight of stairs. And keep in mind, it wasn't like a normal flight of stairs, because here in California, a lot of our apartment complexes aren't like unified. It's not like one huge building complex. It's usually like a bunch of small buildings and a lot of outdoor stairs.
It was those fucking stone ones with the gaps in the middle?
Yes, it was the stone ones with the gaps in the middle. Pulling the dollies up fucking horrific. So literally on maybe 4 separate steps, I almost smashed myself with the refrigerator. And for my troubles, I got a Domino's pizza and a 6-pack of Samuel Adams Oktoberfest beer.
That's not bad, honestly. So I feel like you could use just like a fucking pack of beer to really pay for any favor. I mean, if you need like a dude to do some shit for you, and you give him like a pack of beer or like a nice like $20 bottle of whiskey or something. You know, them's is good people. That's like a homie favor.
You know what? And he was super cool about it too. So like, I'm not bad mouthing him at all, but it was just so funny because I like sat down and thought about it after the fact. I'm like, damn, I'm a cheap ass whore. 1 pizza and a 6-pack of mediocre beer.
Dude, I've done the same with those same exact fucking stairs when we were moving my brother in. Like legitimately, like a fridge, but we had those you ever use those like waist furniture strap shit?
Yes.
Like things? Yeah. So we were using that, so we had to like level it. It was like me and my dad, and we had to like level it on one side to be shorter, so it was like all of the weight, like a fucking fart could have just killed 3 people who were walking up the staircase, and we get up and the shit doesn't fit through the door, so I had to fucking take the door off of its thing.
We had to do the same exact shit.
Yeah, lean it on the side and then fucking tilt and pull the fridge inside and set it up, and then we get to set it up, and the overhanging like cupboards were like grating against the roof of the fucking fridge where they needed to place it.
You're good.
Yeah, it was the Dutchmanship honestly. It was crazy.
Let me fucking tell you, the only thing harder than pulling up a refrigerator up a flight of stairs on a dolly is when you have to put it on its side in order to get it through the door, and then having to put it back up standing.
Yeah.
It's like a feat of Herculean proportions.
It used to be an Olympic sporting event, yeah.
Back in ancient
ancient Greek times, yeah.
The Romans studied all about it in their Genki textbooks.
Refrigados is what it was called.
Who said it?
Ancient Greek hero Refrigidos.
Refrigidos? Is that like Lycandes?
my ancient
For
Greek
any of
philosopher.
you who haven't heard of the story of Lycandes,
oh, it's a tale.
If you haven't heard the tragedy of Darth Lycandes the Wise,
Same.
Thrown into the fucking movies.
Anakin just leans in and asks Palpatine, "Who's Lycandes?"
Lycandes nuts.
Do it.
He disrobes and just looks at him like, "Do it, lick on them."
I feel like Emperor Palpatine would have some easy access robes too. He'd just have like a couple of snaps in the back, just
vile. This is the worst imagery.
Isn't like canonically he's supposed to be like a fucking 1,000 years old?
Something like that.
You think he has to like spool up his nuts and like tuck them in a pouch,
Oh,
take to his
God.
fucking robe?
He has like he has a makeshift kangaroo pouch. Just
That's where he keeps his joeys.
Oh, you're terrible for that.
Episode 4 out of 5. Still haven't muted my phone before recording.
That's fine.
Jesus.
We are all human, Jacob.
Human being on phone.
Speak for yourself.
It is just a game. Why you have to be?
You have to be made.
So the other night I was binge drinking.
Hey.
I wish I could, but I got my fucking burned foot.
So the other night I was making poor choices in regards to my health. Fucking word up, dude. That shit's tight as fuck.
It's like, turn up, dude.
Are you one of those spring breakers?
Oh my god.
I mean, like, if we get it, bro. Like, it's gonna happen.
Legit, my immune system fucking ripped, bro. Just as jacked as me.
You don't know how much alcohol and perks I've put into my bloodstream, dude.
Oh man.
Oh Lord. It's a little too real.
My favorite line of that infamous video is the one dude who's all, we've been planning this here trip for like at least 4 months. And I'm like, bro, 4 months is like your gate to I've been planning this for a long time. 4 months? You plan your life out 4 months and it's a fucking
4
feat.
whole months.
Yeah, dude, like, I mean, I got like an $85 special flight coming down here because, there's a pandemic going on, but like, we've been planning this for at least 4 months.
We've been planning.
By the way, guys, if you want to save money, fly Spirit during the pandemic.
Jesus.
Shit's like riding the fucking bus.
I mean, it probably is right now, to be honest. If I could get a Spirit flight from my fucking house to the nearest Wendy's, I'd probably do it because it'd probably cost less than gas.
The easiest way to take a Spirit flight, Joey, is to kill yourself.
Jesus.
Rip.
A Spirit flight to the Spirit plane.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a
They'll
Spirit
charge
flight.
you for any carry-on.
Imagine you die, right? Imagine you die. You get up to the pearly gates. You're addressing St. Petersburg, and he's all, "That'll be $50
St.
to
Petersburg.
check your bag, sir." Like he checks your
Oh.
itinerary, like you're good. You're not on the going to hell list, and he's all $50 for your baggage.
It's like, how
And
the
it-
fuck am I supposed to pay for that? Like, did your family put coins on your eyes? No.
Bro,
It's not my problem.
Oh,
bro. Rookie
I'm gonna make that a
mistake.
special request.
Saint Petersburg fucking pulls a lever off to his left. You don't even go to
Jesus.
hell. You go to purgatory. You get to purgatory. It's just filled with homeless people.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, I mean, that if you can't pay the $50 fee to check your bag through Spirit Airlines,
Through Spirit Airlines.
He's like shaming you. He's like, you want to be the only naked guy in heaven?
now I'm gonna be all
Chibi.
fucking paranoid, dude. I'm gonna have to tuck. I'm gonna
Tuck
have
a 50 in your
$50
breast pocket.
Yeah, at all times.
At all times. It's my death money.
Death money.
The
The ancient Greeks.
ambulance.
You got to pay
the-
the ferryman.
The ambulance is gonna fucking steal that shit out of my pocket. I'm gonna get up to the gates and I'll be like, "Where the fuck is my 50? I've
Or
had
you
that
got
50 on me for like 2 decades."
You
You got a
start
nice
slapping
watch on your wrist.
pockets.
He looks at you just like, I don't know. That watch there looks pretty expensive.
Fuck.
Just getting shook down at the pearly gate.
The pearly gates. Just
Everything
standing
we're
outside
saying
like,
right now
What
is-
is
what
that?
size
Is
are
that
those
a,
sneakers?
This is
that
all
an
overtly
Omega?
blasphemous.
Are those Air Force Ones?
Air Force One. Hey, are
Imagine
those...
getting shook down for your shoes at the pearly gates.
Are those the standard AirPods or like the the special ones? Are those the?
Oh, these are the wireless charging ones. I
Oh,
just got them.
Well, I mean, like, it's within my ability to waive the $50.
Did you die with a
fee.
Hermes belt on?
Are you telling me that St. Peter's is just like a hype beast covered in drip?
What do? You get
He's
to
got
the
it-
pearly gates, and he's standing there with just like Versace everything, and
Oh
like,
boy.
He just has a stack of Louis Vuitton luggage behind him. Just there.
Jesus.
He's not
Louis
going
Vuitton
anywhere.
luggage,
He's not going
Versace
anywhere.
clothes.
St. Petersburg isn't allowed to take a vacation. It's just sitting there in case he needs to take a vacation.
Just in case he ever gets a day off,
Fuck.
he has like
Gotta
a
do a
Flavor
drip
Flav
check on
chain.
you.
Do a drip check. That's the real fee. Is a drip check.
A vibe check to get into heaven.
No, a drip check.
A drip and
specifically.
vibe check.
A-
It's like a
Ooh,
3-gate entry
sorry.
method.
You passed your vibe check, but just your drip isn't hard enough, sir.
What are those cargo shorts? Come on.
What is this? A splash?
I'm sorry, sir. Oakleys aren't the drip.
You
And then
look
a
like a
dude-
gym teacher.
And then a dude with Heelys walks past you through the gate, and you're like, "What the fuck? How is he getting in?" And you're like, "Well, like his vibe was pretty solid. Like, dude's pretty chill. He wears fucking Heelys."
Well, you
So-
see, he had the courtesy of dying with a whole box of Kool-Aid jammers, so vibe was pretty good. St.
It's
Peter's
like
he pulls the fucking Kool-Aid jammer up from the podium, just
in one fell swoop. Some blue raspberry.
he's got. A
What about
Joker
that guy?
pretty
His
good.
drip
Graham
sucks.
crackers.
Yeah, well, he died with some Maltesers.
Damn, Maltesers are fucking good.
Dale and the fucking Crocs brought a Sunny D, so I don't know what you were bringing. It's like your collective score. Like, you don't have to pass both. You just have to either like excel
You
in
have to get
one.
a C. You have to get
You
at
have to
least
get
a C. It averages out. You have to take
Yeah.
3 tests to get into heaven: a vibe check, a,
a
drip check, and I don't know.
The one that least counts to like getting in is how good you and nice you were during life. Like that's like it's like the last like
It's ancillary
10%.
to the other two.
Yeah, the other are
It's like,
40 and 40,
now
and then
it's
the
just
last
like-
20 is like, were you a decent human being?
Imagine
And if
being,
you ace
you
the
were
other
kind of a
two,
dick,
then
but
imagine
you
being
could be a
pretty high.
murderer and
Um,
ace the other two and fucking just waltz right in.
imagine being like an Amish man. You know, the pious of the pious. You've been nothing but good your entire life, and you get to the pearly gates, and you have no vibe, and you have no drip. So you get an F on those two. Imagine being an Amish man getting sent to hell because
Bro,
you
you can
failed
have
the vibe
Amish
check.
drip. You can have Amish drip.
What does that mean? Define that. Define
Amish drip.
define
You got like good top hat game.
it.
I
What?
don't fucking know. I'm sure there's Amish drip.
I hope
I thought they're all supposed to
hope
dress
that
the
Pilgrim
same way.
Rock lands on you.
Plymouth Rock. Hold on. I'm gonna look up Amish drip.
Amish drip.
I just want to see a
Amish drip.
Gucci'd out Amish man, head to toe.
Amish
Got a fucking
Gucci.
Versace pattern hat.
I want him to look like he just got out of the swimming pool.
Bruh.
You good? Did your tire just deflate?
Shit. No, my lungs. Holy fuck. I don't know if that hat is photoshopped. I don't know if that hat
If you
is
have to ask
photoshopped.
yourself that question, it might be. What did you send me?
That's photoshopped.
That's gotta be.
No, that's photoshopped.
That's gotta be photoshopped.
It's definitely photoshopped, but damn, is it good?
It's drip, right? I like see like some like all black like suspenders
But see,
and like
then
a
that,
Gucci
but then that
pitchfork.
But then that Amish man isn't going to. He's not going to get the faith. He's not going to pass the faith test.
It's only 20% of the thing. If his drip is good enough, he like doesn't matter.
What if St. Peter's doesn't curve the grade?
Dude, we already established.
What
that
if it
it's
pulls the
40%
average
drip.
way fucking down, dude?
Fuck it, no, dude. It's 40% drip, 40% vibe, 20% like actual piety and goodness.
A D isn't passing, Joey.
You don't have to pass. It's the collective score.
Oh Lord.
It's the collective. If you get 40 and 40 on your vibe and drip check, you could be a fucking psychopathic murderer and dip into heaven. You could roll up with the blood-soaked knife, but if you're in like Gucci flip-flops and fucking
what you're
like
telling
Saint
me-
Laurent,
So what you're telling
Coat.
me is that heaven is full of drug dealers and Patrick Bateman.
I mean,
Drug dealers and chads.
jeez.
Get into heaven. Man, heaven's really full of a bunch of chads.
That's why it's heaven, bro.
Hey, how'd you even get in here?
The chins sure are strong here in heaven.
Heaven is just a 24-hour fitness.
No, Chads don't go to 24-hour fitness. They go to the really shitty gyms so that they can flex on the people who are like going there because they got $1 membership for the month. They go
Heaven
like
is a planet fitness.
A Planet Fitness.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knew
Heaven-
heaven was a Planet Fitness?
Heaven is a planet fitness where Chads can throw the weights on the ground as loud as they can.
Oh, and the lunk alarm
No
just
one-
keeps going
Oh.
up.
And they don't use the wipes on the sweaty ass seats that they just used.
It's just permanent lunk alarms.
The
They use it as like
entire-
fucking techno beat dance floor music.
the entirety of the entirety of the population of heaven is just ugh, ugh.
Metal slamming on the ground.
It sounds like a fighting game. In between the lunk alarm going off over and over again.
A perpetual lunk alarm sounds like fucking hell.
You know what
That's
my favorite part about the concept of the lunk alarm is? It's not like they have an AI that can detect when someone grunts. It's literally a Planet Fitness employee pressing the button every single time they hear someone grunt. Like,
Trying to drink some fucking water.
like, imagine being the minimum wage Planet Fitness employee, and you just see fucking Chad walk over to the weight set, and he's all, and you're all, fuck, gotta hit the lunk alarm again.
It's not even like that. He's like really into his job. He like spins around like a 1950s nuclear missile silo, and like two employees turn a key and a fucking switch lifts up, and they like look at each other for a second. Just just to confirm that they need to hit it, and they look back, and he's like,
So their brows
one
all
more
fucking
time, and just
sweaty.
like slam down on the button.
The world's most dedicated Planet Fitness employee.
In every Planet Fitness, there's a back room with 2 dudes in white button-up shirts and slim black ties.
No, it's just St. Peter's. It's just St. Peter's
It's just
watching
St.
over
Peter's
the
in the
gym,
back of every Planet Fitness, yeah.
judging you, counting up your lunks,
Counting
your life, your lifetime lunk awards.
You get to heaven and St. Peter's just looking at you like, well, your lunk number was 15, so that's terrible.
Oh god.
This is a abomination.
Yeah, no. If we've earned anything from this singular podcast, we're not getting into heaven after this.
Nah.
I mean, last time we fucking pinned the fucking queen up to the Pope.
See, that was elder abuse. I don't know if St. Peter's cares that much.
It's only 20% of the check. We've established this.
Yeah, so as long as I die in my full Gucci suit with my gator boots on, like, I'm fine.
And you bring a pack of fucking Swisher Sweets, like St. Peter's is.
Are you gonna roll a blunt with St. Peter's? Hold on.
I don't know, dude. Your drips. Oh shit. You got Swishers on you?
Did you double your vibe score right now, bro?
God, I'm getting gas station flashbacks right now. Oh Lord. Every single fucking day of my life when I worked at the gas station. Do y'all have Swisher Sweets? No, we're the only gas station for fucking 15 miles who doesn't have Swisher Sweets, dude. Yes.
Hey, y'all got
Somebody
gas?
comes in and cleans out. Okay, so how much are I've never rolled before, full disclosure. But how much are fucking Swisher Sweets?
So it used to be that a pack of 2 Swisher Sweets was $1. And like maybe 2 years ago, they increased the price to $1.29, at least where we are.
These
Okay.
taxes are getting out of hand.
No, there is no tax. Tax included.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the company's saving you money on cheap tobacco that you pour out on my parking lot and I have to sweep up. Man, I don't miss that job. Holy fuck.
I just want to watch someone come in with
Swisher.
I want to watch someone walk into a gas station, buy like 3 packs of Swisher Sweets, go out to the parking lot, throw it on a fucking like roll, and sneeze and just like a dust explosion onto their car window, and they're just like, "Fuck, man."
I thought you were just gonna say I wanna witness someone walk in, buy 3 packs of Swisher Sweets, and just empty them all in the parking lot. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen that before. It's called being a lowly gas station attendant.
Oh,
and then I've
merciless.
immediately had my manager be like, "Could you go outside and sweep up all that tobacco off of the ground?"
I find it funny that Swisher Sweets are literally just. It's not even like what it's meant to be used for. People are just. It's just a conversion. It's a fucking reagent. That's all it is.
It's like it's an alchemical fucking.
Well, okay.
That's all it
fucking
is. You
mission.
get rid of everything in the middle and replace it with weed.
So the best part about it is that the gas station I worked at sold rolling paper, like just rolling
That's
paper,
tight as fuck.
and pre-made like cones. Well, because I mean, weed is legal in California, so it's like
That's true. That's true.
it's not like the businesses have to hide or anything. So we sold that stuff literally right next to the Swisher Sweets, and yet people still prefer the Swisher Sweets because they want.
I mean, okay, hold on.
they
Do the
want-
rolling papers come in flavors like the
No.
Swisher Sweets?
Well, actually, they do have a brand called Juicy J's that are flavored
Juicy
rolling
J's.
paper. Yeah.
That's such a knockoff brand.
No,
Swisher
no,
Sweets
no.
and Juicy J's.
No, it's a reference to the rapper.
Oh, like he branded it himself?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's fucking fun. I thought you were gonna have like
I'm
some
not
Luscious
sure if they're-
Larry's.
You're a dumbass, bro. I'm not sure if they are like officially like made and licensed by him, but that's what they're supposed to be referencing, obviously.
Juicy J's. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, yeah, I'm gonna go with Swisher Sweets every time because I'm not trying to like, like I'm not. If I were to, I'm not gonna smoke some Juicy J. I'm not gonna want to think about that while I'm high.
Puffing on Juicy J's.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to puff on Juicy J.
There are people that buy Swisher Sweets to smoke the actual Swisher Sweet, though.
I've never seen it myself, though.
I have.
I feel like that's like you got to be like 45 and like on your 4th divorce to be like.
I won't lie to you.
To reach that level.
I will not lie to you. Sometimes you see a beat down fucker walk in, and they're like, "Yo, let me get a Swisher Sweet," and they walk outside and they light it right up like it's a fresh rolled cigarette.
Damn.
And
are you like
so
obligated to be like it'll get better as they walk out if they purchase one?
So I'll do you one better. They sell these things called talons. Okay.
Called what?
Talons.
Called what?
Talons.
Talons.
Like,
like
birds.
eagle claws.
Yes, like eagle claws. Talons. So talons are essentially think of them like a cigarette pack of miniature Swisher Sweets with a filter on them.
Okay.
Right? So it's got 20. Right? 20 in a pack, like a normal pack of cigarettes. Right? But they're flavored cigars. Do you guys want to shot in the dark? Tell me how much it costs.
For a pack of 20?
For a pack of 20, yes.
I'm going to say $3.
Yep.
I'm going to say, oh, yeah. Damn.
$3 fucking dollars.
Nailed it.
Keep in mind, a pack of cigarettes is getting pretty close to being almost $11 here.
Jeez.
So I would literally have like really bad smokers come in, and they would be like, give me 1 pack of like Marlboro Reds or whatever, and give me 4 packs of Talons.
Jeebies.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of low quality tobacco.
Yeah. And then you know what? I'd see them 3 days later.
Oh.
Damn. Jesus Christ. That's insane.
Tar lung.
As a gas station attendant, honestly, you're basically like a peddler of addiction. It's fucking crazy.
Jeez.
You're a certified cancer salesman?
Dude, well, because think about it.
Oh my god.
Think about it for a second. Like 70% of the clientele that comes in is either there to buy tobacco, alcohol, or lottery.
Wow. That's fair.
So it's either someone who's addicted to nicotine, someone who's addicted to alcohol, or someone who's addicted to gambling.
Or me, someone who wants some extra hot flaming Cheetos and a Slim Jim.
But you know what?
As they purchase their gas.
If every customer came in for just that, it wouldn't be that bad of a job. The worst people to ring up are the ones who are getting any of those items or gas. That's for sure.
Why? I don't know. That's like definitely an out of state thing, I feel. Unless like the card reader is broken. Like, no. I've never gone inside to fucking be like, can I get...
You're absolutely wrong. Regulars. People who are who live down the street and around the corner.
Why, though?
So let me tell you exactly.
Do you not have
why.
like cash?
No, we accept cash. No, it's
the
because people think that the gas station attendant sets the gas price.
No,
what?
I had a woman once. She went on a tirade for maybe 25 minutes in my gas station because the gas station across the street was 3 cents cheaper. And she thought it was like Walmart price match.
Price match.
Well, the gas station over there is $2.39.
I'll get there. So she said, "Well, I don't want to pump that gas. I prefer the gas here." As if she's pouring it in her mouth like she's a car from picking cars and she can taste the quality of gas.
You'd see her with a wine glass. She pours it in the wine glass, swirls it around, sniffs it, takes a sip, and spits it into her bowl.
She's all filth, swill. She's a gasoline connoisseur. As if it all doesn't come from the same fucking oil
she's
field.
A gasoline sommelier.
Yeah. No. So she's like, I prefer this gasoline over that gasoline. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? You can't charge me their price and da-da-da and keep a customer. And I looked at her
Keep a customer.
and I straight up, because just a little insight into the mind of a gas station attendant. It's impossible to get fired from a gas station. Everything short of full-on assault, anything kind of like sexual harassment, anything short of those two things, you will not get fired. There was instances where I could have literally told like a customer, like, "You're a dumb, stupid motherfucker" to their face, and I wouldn't have gotten fired ever.
Jesus.
So I literally asked her, I said, "Ma'am, quick question. How many gallons of gas did you want to pump?" And she said 6. And I said, "Ma'am, you have gone on a 25-minute tirade about a total of 6 gallons of gas at a 3-cent discount. Now, I'm not a mathematician. I don't even claim to understand math. But that's 18 cents. Is it not?"
Yeah, it's 18
Joe,
cents.
you're the one who
Fucking don't go to the. This is literally my job. But if you can't do 6 times 3,
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking
No,
with
no.
you. I'm fucking with you.
18 cents. And when I put it in terms like that, she was like, "Huh. All right, just go ahead and ring me up for 6 gallons of gas." And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. If that job did anything for me, it was strip me of my faith in humanity. Everything that you think is common sense, I promise you is not common sense.
That's remarkable.
They are. They're all very remarkable specimens. Or there would be people who, like, they would come in, again, like, thinking that the fucking gas station attendants set the price on stuff. They'd walk in, they'd be like, "Well, the 7-Eleven down the street has hot Cheetos, 2 for $3. And I'd be like, "Well, then why don't you buy the hot Cheetos from the 7-Eleven down the street for 2 for $3? I would literally say shit like that to them because fuck them. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't set the prices.
Imagine thinking someone who gets paid minimum wage to ring people up has like the authority in like a multi-million
I'm gonna
dollar
storm
chain.
into my manager's office and say, "Manager, the 7-Eleven down the street is attempting to undercut us on our pricing. We should employ some kind of competitive pricing in order to keep our customers happy." Like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Get Mr. Shell on the phone now.
Excuse me,
Did you ever
Sir
have to-
Chevron. Yes,
Sir
we've
Chevron.
got an emergency.
Did you ever have somebody try to haggle you down on a sandwich when you worked at Jersey Mike's, Joey?
Oh my God! Actually, yes. Actually,
No,
not directly,
Bro,
not directly,
bro.
in a weird roundabout way.
Listen. Look here, asshole. So you're trying to tell me that you'll sell me 2 McDoubles for $3.50 right now on promotion? That's no $3.30. Take it or leave it. That's the best offer I can give you for 2 McDoubles.
It
That's
wasn't
the two.
directly like
That's the
a
best
sandwich
offer
haggle.
I can give you. And you know what? I'll pay $4.50 if you throw in a small fry.
It wasn't even a sandwich haggle directly like that, but it was a kind of similar situation. So
He tried to barter with you? He was like,
Or
No.
like, well, Subway sandwiches, or like it's like, well, Subway is shit. First off,
So Jersey Mike's has like protocol on like how many slices you're supposed to put, kind of generally, and
oh boy,
weight meters and things like that. Like if a store is kind of like, like the
portion
amount
control.
of yeah. So if the amount of like meat that's getting shipped isn't correlating well with like the money coming in, right? Then you have people overserving. So sometimes in like times like that, when we needed to monitor like our thing, we would have to put it on like a scale in front of people, right? And so I got this customer one time where I'm like, and this is like my 3rd or 4th month on the job, right? It was my first job. I was new. I didn't know the ways of the world. I was a young baby boy just trying to make minimum wage and buy himself some McDonald's on the way home or something. So I go and I'm like, okay. My manager told me like, hey, when you're slicing these sandwiches, put the put the meat on the scale as you're doing it and things like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go up and this dude comes up and he's like, yeah, let me get giant Italian, please. And I'm like, oh, okay.
A man
For
of
sure,
taste.
for sure. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I can get down with this. My order too. Cool. And I'm chatting him up, doing my usual spiel. I'm usually pretty decent, just chatting. So I'm like chatting or whatever, and I do like a few slices of the salami and the pepperoni and the ham and all of the ingredients that go into it. But as I'm cutting the ham, I'm like, okay, cool. I get the slices and I take them and I put them on the scale. And this dude looks me into like the pits of my soul and just like without a sense of irony at all, just looks me dead in my eyes. And this is like, I've done like 4 or 5 like slices and things, and it could easily cover the whole giant roll. Like it can get all the way across the edge, and it's just one of the 4 or 5 meats in that sandwich. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I take it and I clump it up and I put it on the scale as I was instructed to do by the manager. And the dude looks at me without like a trace of irony. The smile has left his face. He looks at me in the eyes and he goes, "You think that's enough fucking ham?" And I
What? Hold on. In like a good or a bad way? Like he was offended by the amount of ham you were putting?
He was offended. He was offended by the amount of ham I was about to put on his sandwich that had 4 other meats coming on. And like it was perfectly a reasonable amount of ham for the sandwich. It was just like
You think that's enough fucking ham? Wise guy looks back at the sign. Jersey Mike's. I thought this was a kosher establishment.
Jesus Christ. No, he's like fucking like, because it was so weird because he came in, he's like, yeah, I'll take a number like 13, the Italian. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And he was like smiling and shit. And then as soon as I put it on the scale, as soon as I was measuring his meat, he was fucking just yeah.
Exactly. Measured his meat?
Fuck, oh god.
Wow, full service at Jersey Mike's.
You fucking walked into that one, Sonny.
Did you oil them up and do a taste test too?
As soon as I put the ham on the scale, it's like he turned into a serial killer. Like emotion left his face.
Ted Bundy and shit, like he was gaslighting
He Ted Bundy'd. He fucking Ted Bundy'd. like he was just like smiling. I put it on the scale and it just dropped. And he's like, "You think that's enough fucking ham?" And like stared into my eyes, and I'm fucking like,
it's enough ham
give me like a beat on this guy. Like, how tall was he? Like,
what? He's like,
if you can even remember that information,
he's like 2 inches shorter than you. He was
okay. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a large dude. He was a stout gentleman. He was beefier, not like beefier, but he was heavier. He was heavier.
And he was complaining about the amount of meat you were giving to him.
Yeah, and he had like really long greasy hair. And like it was just I was just like, hey, I'm gonna chat with this guy. He seems like a normal person. And then he just like shifted. It was like my entire opinion of the guy shifted in that moment. And me being like 17 years old, I'm like, yeah, I mean, like my boss is having me weigh the meats and I'm like stuttering over more. He's just like, give me a couple more slices. And I'm like,
oh, you folded?
I fucking folded, but because I was terrified. So I fucking made the rest of his sandwich and I was pissed off. And then the next time the motherfucker came in, I did it and he walked out the door and I was like, fuck that guy. Fucking asshole. And the next time he came in, I was like real direct with him about like the sandwich shit. And I don't know if he got like a read on the vibe or maybe that day he was just having a bad day. But like legit, he came in asking for his like giant number 13 and he walks in. And comes in and I'm like, this is the motherfucker. I remember this face. And I'm like, okay, here you go. And we didn't have the scale out, but I give him the exact same amount of meat I gave him the fucking first time when I was putting it on the scale. And I just fucking slice it and I look him in the eyes as I place it on the sandwich. And then I go and I slice the other shit and I put it on the sandwich. And as he's getting ready to like open his mouth, I'm like, would you like that Mike's way? Like in the most direct, assertive tone a 17-year-old me could manage,
So
and
it
I
was-
was not
so-
very
so-
direct as a
so-
17-year-old.
So you're telling me it was like, oh, they're like Mike's way.
No.
Zoinks.
No. That's how it was the first fucking go around. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pretty intimidated because I was not a direct person back in the day.
I would have told that fat bastard to shut the fuck up and take his meat like a good
Jesus
piggy.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
Fuck that guy.
First of all, I wanted to keep my job.
I would have gotten Mr. Mike
Well,
on the
Jacob
phone. I would have
just
gotten
turns
Mike
around, it's like-
himself on the phone to tell his guy off.
Jacob
was-
just turns around. It's like, "Quick, you want more meat, you little piggy? Oink oink."
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he was the one who was trying to be a fucking cannibal, asking for more ham.
He was fucking. This is horrible. horrible.
What do you want from me?
This is horrible.
I'm just saying how
Anyway.
I feel, man.
I definitely now would not take the dishonor, but I was definitely not in the position personally, and
It sounded
my
like you
first
were in
job
position.
was.
You told us you were measuring his meat. Vincent sounds like he's fucking dying.
Joey just wants to stop now.
I just don't want to tell the story anymore.
No, go ahead. I want to get the rest of it.
No, so the second time he comes around, I was just like a little more assertive with him, and I like shut down whenever he was going to like say something. It basically
took control.
boiled down to like, yeah, and then that was like a changing moment. But the one that made me think of that wasn't even the right fucking story, but that just made me think of it. This fucking time they do like the rewards points, right? And you can get rewards points to get like a certain level of sandwich. So there's the mini, the regular, and the giant. And we was in a rush one day. We had these people come in and they order a giant and they get to the counter, and my coworker's checking them out, rating them out, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Like, they were like, "Oh, we should have points for a free sandwich." And my coworkers, she was like, "Oh yeah, you do for like a regular size sandwich. This is a giant." And she was nice about it. She was like, "But I could charge it as 2 regulars and then give you the regular free because of your points, and then just charge you for a regular size sub." Which, I'm not sure if you're
roundabout.
allowed to do that, but it's roundabout and it gets them their discount, right? So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty sweet." And they just go ballistic. They're like immediately shouting like, "No, last time we came in here, they fucking told us we got a free sandwich. They fucking told us. They said we had a free sandwich." And she's like, "You do, but not this size." And they're like, "No, they fucking said they would give it to us for free. That's what they told us." And after the fucking like large sweaty man incident, I became kind of like the problem guy out there because I could stay calm in like those kinds of situations. So like they were just like, "Oh, Joey, get over here," and I'm like going up and I'm trying to be as fucking customer service as possible. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so what seems to be the issue?" They're like, "They told us that we had a free sandwich the last fucking time they came in here, and you are bullshitting us out of our free fucking sandwich." And I'm like, "You do have a free sandwich. You have a free regular. Now, normally we're not supposed to offer this kind of thing." And I'm like going over like the details, the whole shebang, and it's getting real. I'm real slowly getting more annoyed with it and being more like curt with my tone and things like that.
And
then fucking
were they cursing at you and everything?
yeah.
Okay, see, let me just real quick interject. At the gas station, the second that shit goes down, right? Gloves off. We tell them straight up, "Get the fuck out of here, or the cops are gonna be here real quick."
Nice.
That's exactly how we handle that situation in the gas station.
This is why I'm glad I haven't worked in anything customer service related. I've been lucky on that sense. I don't have to work with people, but that would have just ended up in somebody's having their sandwich thrown away in front of them and telling them to fuck off from me.
The most bullshit part about that is if I would have gone back in any way, shape, or form, I would have gotten fired. But in like any case, any sense of the thing, they're fucking screaming and doing all the shit until like literally the very end. I'm just like, "All right, fucking, if you want your free food, you'll take your free food." And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, they're gonna want to take something for free, so I'm just gonna give them what they were able to get for free. And so I take the fucking shit that's in the wrapping paper, and usually you're not supposed to do this, but I was over it. Take the shit in the wrapping paper, and I just take the knife and I cut it in half, and I put it on the end, and I'm like, "If you want it, take it," and then put the other one back behind the counter, for one of us eventually to eat as lunch. And they take it and they're hollering and making a big fuss and fucking walking out and shit. And they eventually leave, never seen them again. And fucking, I don't know who had it for lunch, but someone did. But Yeah, basically, I was the guy that could take all that shit and not like jump over the table. A lot of my coworkers were very like they would start a fight if and understandably so, but I was just the patient one. So they ended up having me do that a lot.
That's how
So
I
I
am
dealt
too.
with the worst.
I wouldn't have been able to deal with that shit. Not over a sandwich.
Same.
I would have straight up just
Same.
been like, you realize I'm holding a knife right now, right?
You have no power here.
You have no power here.
Like if you want
And
to have died to a sandwich knife on your tombstone, be my guest.
To a bread knife.
Like imagine the last thing you
Jesus.
see on planet Earth is the ceiling of a Jersey Mike's as you bleed out.
is the logo of a Jersey Mike's on the shirt of the person
Yeah, you're gonna
reaching
meet that
towards you
sub
with the
above.
bread knife. The great sub above. Jeebie weebie.
They're gonna go see Big Mike now.
I got fucking called up to the register for people who were like, I didn't get enough tomatoes, remake the entire sandwich.
Fuck off.
Fuck
Just
off.
fuck off.
Because
I can't stand that shit.
everybody else had that like mentality, and I was fucking just like, okay, I'll fucking do it. I'll grin and bear it, get you your fucking sandwich, and then leave. The only time I really like gave someone the fuck off was when this dude, it was me and my buddy, and we were closing, and the dude was like, he's an old white dude, and my coworker at the time I was working with, he was black, and the old white dude was being like racist.
Ooh.
He like, I forget what he said. He said some racist shit. So my coworker
Yikes.
comes back and he's like, Joe, you gotta go out there. You gotta deal with them and shit. And I walk out there, and I just go out and he's like, oh, that fucking boy is fucking doing all this shit. And I'm like, all right. So, and there are these other dudes in there, and we kind of all were just collectively on like the fuck off, kind of just get out of here. And he was just like, oh, blah, blah, blah,
Like
old man
how
shit.
racist though?
Like boy, and like he doesn't seem like he could do it. I hope you're better. Shit like that. And then I forget what it was, but my coworker said he said something along the lines of skin color, and I was like, all right.
Yikes.
And the other dudes were like, we have your back. Like if he calls the store or anything, like we have your back, or if you get a manager coming here, like we're gonna be here for a while, like we got you. We'll tell them the story.
Yeah,
no.
that's unfortunate.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We had something like that happen at the gas station one time with one of my like more, well, because I mean I'm Mexican, but I'm not very like I
Dark complexion.
Yeah, I'm not dark complexion at all. But we had a guy come in and use a very offensive expletive for Mexican towards the cashier, and yeah, it's just I don't understand. It's a gas station. It's a sandwich. What possibly could have gone wrong during your transaction to lead you to like go that far?
It's people who don't have any power in their lives, and they, you know, the only power they have is that they think the customer is always right kind of power. But in actually, no, you're not always right, and everybody knows you're just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think like my immediate first thought whenever I'm in situations like those is like, this isn't about me. This isn't about the fucking sandwich. Like this is some other shit that's gone wrong in their life, gone awry, and they have nowhere else to externalize it.
At
So
the-
fucking,
at the
I'm
same-
That's the thing, it's
unfortunately,
like-
I'm
the same
unfortunately where
time-
they're taking that out, and
at
it's
the-
not right.
At the same time,
But that's what's happening.
I'm not your therapist, right? So unless you're gonna pay me like, you know, $125 billable or $125 per billable hour for you to bitch at me, you need to find another way for you to what was the wording you used? Express that
To
outwards.
express that like in any outward way.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's like, have some like, you know, empathy for, you know, human.
Right.
But no, it's just like it's like a privilege that some people think they have as a customer. It's like,
Well, see,
I'm paying insert any minuscule amount of money here, so I better get the full service. It's like, just
I genuinely
fuck off.
believe I genuinely believe that there should be compulsory retail employment for every 18-year-old. You have to work
have
at
to
a
work a
you
retail job,
you have to
a
work a
minimum
retail
wage
job for
retail
like
work.
3 months. Because I promise you, we'll weed out all of that in a few generations if we just do it.
Darwin it out, baby.
Well, because think about it. Anyone caught after that compulsory retail service being like that is just going to be a pariah. More than they already are in our society. Like, they're going to be a full-on pariah.
The Karens are already in there.
Like, we'll weed
The
that shit
Karen.
out real fucking fast. Like, people will find out very quickly just how mean people who have experienced that firsthand can be. I will never go back to working retail ever in my life. I would literally rather kill myself. It's that bad.
Jesus.
I never plan on
That
it.
ain't a threat. That's a
not
promise,
even a
baby.
backup thought for me.
I would
don't plan on it
literally
either.
I would literally rather get a manual labor job, like working construction, over retail.
Honestly,
Honestly.
fucking waking up at 3 a.m., waking up at 2 a.m., and driving to do shipment for fucking Old Navy was a much better job than that place ever was. Like, honestly, if the people, my coworkers there were fucking awesome. Like, if the people weren't the same, if the people weren't like good, I probably would have left a lot earlier. But it was my first job and I didn't know, and I was young and I was a timid lad and all of that bullshit.
No, yeah.
But like the Old Navy gig was fucking miles and leagues better, and I was just lifting and moving boxes and taking shit. I never had to work behind the counter or deal with customers.
Beautiful.
So I just get up real early, drive when there's no fucking cars on the road, and then
That's what I
leave
that's what
at
I
the
miss
crack
about
of dawn.
working graveyard, honestly. That's what I
You
miss
just
about
get back
working-
home. You get back home and it's not lunchtime, it's breakfast time, and you have the whole rest of your day to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing before the quarantine started. But I have what could be a normal 9 to 5 job, but you know, they're like the hours were flexible, so I just went in at 5 o'clock and left at 1, and the whole fucking rest of the day is just there. And leaving at 1 means I get to clock out before shit usually hits the fan at like 3 to 6 p.m. So it was just easier. Also traffic,
Yeah.
because Los Angeles blows in
Oh, yeah.
traffic.
I mean, my current job, it kind of sucks because it's a mid shift, and mid shifts are never fun. I mean, obviously, I haven't been in my job now in a month, because all of the fun places to go in life have been closed.
Mm.
But you know, I do miss graveyard. That's like one of the biggest things I miss about graveyard. I miss driving on the road when it's empty. I miss getting home at breakfast time and having pancakes for dinner. The one thing that sucks about working graveyard is that the rest of the world is just not on your side.
Yeah.
Like, very basic things turn into like astronomical feats for me when I worked graveyard. Because things as, innocuous as like going to the dentist, right? The dentist opens up at 8 a.m. and closes at like, some of them as early as like 4 or 5 p.m. So
Yeah.
I either have to bite the bullet and wake up early to go to the dentist, or I have to stay up later to go. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So there's no convenience in the life of a graveyard person who needs to do like real world shit. The DMV, right? The DMV closes at 5, opens at 10. When do I get to go
That's
to the
like
DMV?
your sleep.
I'm asleep. That's literally like my sleeping time. And, a trip to the DMV is never just in and out. Even if you make an appointment, it's never just in and out.
The appointment, all it does is get you past the first line.
Exactly.
You still have to wait in the west.
You'll still
wait in the rest.
You'll still be there an hour.
Oh yeah.
So that was honestly one of the worst things about working graveyard. But I kind of miss it.
It could definitely have its upsides and its downsides for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
The yin and the yang, baby.
Yeah, no, definitely not gonna go back to retail. If like legit, if I can help it with every fiber of my being, definitely don't want to do that again. But I think I'm better for having done it in a weird way.
Me too. I think it gave me a lot of perspective.
Yeah, I learned a lot about like patience and then like what you should and shouldn't take from people as far as like shit kind of sense.
Well,
None.
from like my end, I grew up in a family that just like is very notorious for being that person. You know, there's a lot of people in my family who will just pop off at the McDonald's worker.
Ugh.
And like growing up around that my whole life, I'm glad it didn't normalize it for me. I'm glad that instead it was like, I'm never going to be that person. And then when I got to be like firsthand on the receiving end of that stuff, it made me just like hate it
even more.
So now, like if I go anywhere with my family and they try and do shit like that, I will be the one to stop it.
Yeah, I'm always super like, thankfully my environment wasn't like that to an extent, like where it would blow up or anything. So I kind of had like the reverse experience, same outcome, I guess, where it did kind of rub off on me to be really like cool with like service workers and things like that, and then being on like the receiving end of all the bullshit that they have to deal with, I'm always like, no, yeah, it's totally fine. I get like, hey, you forgot the ranch. That's totally cool. Like, I'm patient. I can wait until like your next round and you come back or whatever.
Although the
Like,
Buffalo
don't trip.
Wild Wings by our house, holy
Yeah,
shit!
yeah, yeah.
Oh
That one's
my god, that is the worst service ever.
Welcome to the half of the podcast where everything we said gets thrown out of the window. Because fuck Buffalo Wild. No, I'm just...
honestly, fuck Buffalo Wild Wings. If their food didn't taste good, I would have no reason to even think about them.
That's why I always go to the other spot that's by my house. Same quality wings, better price, better service.
Papa John's.
Papa John's.
No. That's the thing is that there's like an area like I'm not gonna throw a bitch fit at there. Yeah. That's the difference. I'm not gonna throw a fit at them.
No,
but I just won't eat there that often because it's like, why do I have to wait an hour to get my wings?
I feel like
when it's empty. I've gone there when it is empty and have still waited an hour to get my food.
That's the thing. It's not like if it was only happening when it was always like super packed
Saturdays
and shit. Like, okay,
at 9 p.m.
Yeah. Then
I would
like
get
you
it.
understand.
No, I've gone
Wednesday.
I've gone Wednesday at 11 a.m. And I still waited 45 minutes for my boneless chicken wings.
And that's not even fucking counting the 30 minutes you have to wait to get the menu and get your drink.
Exactly.
Like, that's the craziest part to me.
15 minutes it takes to get your drink.
And it's so tragic because I love their lemon pepper wings. I do. I love their lemon pepper wings. I get it with a side of hot, and they're delicious. But it's so always like a triannual event whenever I go to Buffalo Wild Wings because it feels like I'm going to fucking Disneyland. Like, it feels like I load up everyone in the car and I go to Disneyland and I have to wait in line for fucking 3 hours.
Just to experience like lemon pepper wings. That's awesome.
And then you have to wait another 30 minutes to get the check.
Well, and then what makes it worse is I have a horror story specifically with our Buffalo Wild Wings.
Uh-oh.
I think you guys know this story, but it's about one of our other friends, his ranch. Now, you guys hear the ranch story?
I've not heard.
I vaguely remember the ranch story.
It's one of the reasons why I personally have a hard time sometimes.
You'll have to refresh my memory. I remember something about a ranch story.
Okay, so one time, me and one of our mutual friends went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and he's a very quiet and timid guy, but he's also very picky. So there's not a lot of food that he enjoys, and he's got a very weak stomach.
Okay.
But he enjoys himself.
I knew exactly
wings.
Who you were fucking talking about right when you said.
I just don't
timid and picky.
Yeah, I don't want to name drop him in case he doesn't want to.
No, yeah.
But so we go through the whole fucking full experience. We wait 35 minutes to be seated, then 30 minutes to get our menus, then 30 minutes to put in our order, then 45 minutes to get our food. And then we wait another 20 minutes to get ranch. When the ranch comes, our friend really likes ranch. It's one of his favorite things, or it was one of his favorite things. And I see him. So he gets boneless wings, and he dips his boneless wings into the ranch, takes a bite out of him. He's sitting there chewing it. And keep in mind, we're like having a conversation. We're eating dinner. And mid-sentence, as I'm talking, I see his face drop. And I mean drop. Like, it looked like he saw a fucking ghost. Like, I saw a 1,000-yard stare. Like the life force had been sucked out of him. And he stops, puts his hand up to stop me from talking, takes his other hand, sticks it in his mouth, and pulls out the fattest clump of, like, fake weave hair I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Oh.
And it's all coated in ranch.
Oh.
I almost just made myself gag thinking about it.
Oh.
And it was in his mouth. He was chewing on it.
Oh no, he ate the weave.
So he immediately sets it down on the table nice and politely, because, like I said, he's a very coy person. He's not one to make a scene. He's
17-year-old Joey.
He dashes to the restroom and just fucking immediately starts painting the toilet. And me being me, I'm like, oh, hell no. I want to fucking say something. So I call a server over, and I call our server over. Keep in mind, that's hard as fuck. It takes like 5 minutes to peg down a server. They come over, and I'm like, is there anything I can get you? And I'm like, I need to speak to a manager. Oh, is there a problem? I need to speak to a manager right now.
Gee, you Karen'd it, but righteous Karen.
This is, there is most situations where it is not fucking
it is
called for in this life. This is the one situation.
This is the true situation where you should call for the manager.
100%.
And you were not a dick about it. You're
no,
not like,
I wasn't.
Get me a fucking manager.
I wasn't like, get me a fucking manager. It was just like, I need to speak to a manager, please. I have a big issue, and I just need to speak to a manager about it. Manager comes over, and I'm real polite with the manager and everything. I'm just like, hey, my friend is in the bathroom, most likely vomiting. We just pulled this humongous clump of hair out of ranch. He had it in his mouth. Like, I regaled her with the tail. And she
you spun your yarn.
Was horrified. She looked like he did. And I was like, yeah. And I straight up told her, I was like, I'm not trying to get anything out of this. I'm just like, this is awful. I'm like really upset right now. If we could
Jeff is a mess.
I'm straight up just like, if we could get the check and get out of here, I just wanted to let you know that this happened.
Yeah.
And honest, like, Scout's Honor was not trying to get anything out of it. It was not like that at all. It was more like, hey, I don't know who doesn't have a hairnet, because I'm used to working in kitchens. So I was like, hey, I don't know who doesn't have a hairnet on back there, but, like, maybe
get him one.
Maybe get him one. So she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Trev comes back. I was right. He fucking threw up bad. So get this. We wait like 20 minutes to get our check. Again, after this whole debacle has gone down, I've already spoken. Again, everything.
Jesus.
Time just moves slower at Buffalo Wild Wings, I think. And they bring our check, and she has a bag, like a to-go bag.
Oh.
She was like, I comped your guys' meals, and I gave you a large serving of what you both ordered. So, like, you guys have, like, a second meal here for free.
Nice.
She's like,
nice.
I'm super sorry that all of this happened.
Right.
She was like, all you have to do,
is sign this NDA.
No, it wasn't anything like that. Oh, no. I got my story mixed up. She brought the check, right? And she explained that to us. And she was like, if you guys just hang around, the food will come out and you can get it. So me and Trav look at each other like, okay, I guess we're getting free food. Keep in mind, we didn't finish our current food because, that shit.
Right.
And we sat there and waited another 45 minutes for free food.
The wings still did not stop.
Without
damn well a Karen would have I'm gonna blah blah blah. It
was amazing. Without fail, we still waited 45 minutes for our free food.
That's awesome, dude.
So every time I go to that Buffalo Wild Wings, I eat my chicken wings with nothing but like clear sauces. Trevor, oh, excuse me, fuck.
You said it earlier. You said it earlier.
My bad.
Whatever.
We'll have to have him on here sometime. He can tell his fucking side of the story. But he fucking every single time, and I still to this day witness it. It's been years. It has been years. He takes a fork every time he gets ranch. It doesn't matter where we go. He takes a fork and he fucking combs the ranch.
He's fucking traumatized.
He has like PTSD.
He's traumatized.
He fucking trolls the ranch to make sure there isn't any foreign entities within it.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Oh my god.
He's fucking scarred for life because of the Buffalo Wild Wings.
They did my boy dirty.
Can you imagine?
They did the wings
like,
dirty.
It's one thing if it's like actual like hair, but it was like that fake ass like Sally's fucking $5 wig hair. Just fucking vile.
I mean, at the very least, now he can spin a yarn about eating yarn.
Ugh. Well, so most of those cheap weaves, if what I'm to understand is true, are usually made out of horsehair.
Oh god.
So,
Oof.
yeah, fucking disgusting.
Ugh. He just wanted some ranch. The boy just wanted some ranch.
He wanted some white substance and got hair.
Like
That's
Joey
an awful
measuring
way
the
to put it.
meat in the right position.
Look,
He didn't measure the meat correctly.
He wasn't in the right position.
I measured correctly.